In this session, we are going to see how we can create list of messages using Android Compose. So here it shows there are 4 set of messages: other 1, some message, other 2, some message, other 3, some message, other 4, message. And you can see the message, we can see only one line, but when you tap over one particular message, you can see it is expanded. Once again, if you click it, it should be minimized to one line. That is what we are going to see how it can be done. Let me open the Android Studio. This is my version. Create a new project. Select MD activity. Next, let us say list of messages. This is the project explorer area. I'm going to minimize it to get the maximum area. And here you can see the split mode. And here it shows a successful build is needed to see the preview. This is the preview of the auto-generated code which is provided by Android Studio. But we are not going to use this auto-generated code. Here I am going to remove this function called greeting. Here, instead of the greeting function, we are going to create our own function. Let us say conversation. Just a normal function. And here I'm removing this line, and I'm going to apply the material design in the preview also. And from here I'll be calling conversation function. Here we need few data. We can see the author name, the message, then author 2, some message, author 3, some message. To manage that, I am going to create a data class. Let us say message. We are going to have one variable called author of type string. Then second one, let us say body of the message string. So we'll be using this data class to create the message object. And here we are going to rename this greeting preview with conversation preview. Here it shows some rendering problem, we'll see later. And from here we can call the conversation function. But we are going to pass some input to this conversation function, that is a list of messages. List of message. The first one, let us say author 1. The body of the message, to make it simple, I'm just putting it as body 1. And we can have n number of messages like this. Now to fix this error, here we are passing a list of messages. I'm going to use the coding assistance. Keep the mouse over here. It shows add parameter to the function conversation. Refactor. You can see the list of, I'm just renaming it as messages. And here also you can see that it is modified. Let us put more messages. Other 2, body 2, other 3, body 3, one more, 4, this is body 4. I'm going to pass all this input in the preview also. So we are calling the conversation function, but this function is empty. And here we have to load a list of messages. For that, we are going to use a composable function called LazyColumn. And this function is designed for efficiently displaying large scrollable list of items. Let us see the features of this composable functions. The first thing it is of vertical type scrolling. Items are arranged vertically and it can be scrolled up and down. The second feature, it is lazy. It means the items are composed only when they come into the view. So it reduces initial loading time. So it is very efficient. Then when items scroll out of view and when it is coming back, they are recomposed only if there is any change in the data. Otherwise, no recomposition there. And we can pass multiple items. We can define multiple items in a LazyColumn using a predefined function called items. Let us see how it can be done. Here we are getting a collection of data and we have to type LazyColumn. We can remove this, open a set of braces, and there is a function called items, and pass the collection as input. Then open a set of braces, that is a lambda, and take every data. So every data is, that is a message. Take every message then we are going to call a user defined function called message card and pass that message as input to this function. But we don't have this message card user defined function. We are yet to create it. So this is the workflow. There is a predefined function called items, and to the items you can pass a collection of data, and in the first iteration the first message object will be taken and we'll be calling a user defined function called message card, where you'll be passing this message as input to this function message card. So let us create that function. You can keep the cursor over here. It shows create at composable function message card. So we need to create a composable function for that. Now there is no compile time error. Let us go back to the expected output once again. We need an image, and to its right we need a column of 2 text data. So we need a row composable function which contains image as the first element, then column of 2 text. That is what we are going to design next. Starting with the row, and the first content is an image. So let us construct that first. Painter equal to painter resource I'm going to take my file explorer because I need an image. So I'm just taking a PNG file. Go to the resource folder and keep the file inside the drawable folder. And here it goes. This is the file. Now we can locate it. r.drawable.person, and the content description, let us say person. Now the preview, it is rendering. Here you can see 4 images are coming. The reason is, in the LazyColumn we are passing items of messages, and there are 4 message objects. So 4 times this message card function is getting called. That is why we got 4 images, or we can say 4 rows. 4 times it is getting called. And let us do some modifications in our image. Use the variable modifier, parameter name, modifier dot, there is a function called a clip. We can give some circle shape. You can see that it is getting modified. We can give size, let us say 70 dp. The size is reduced. There is a function called border, and here we can mention what is the width. Let us say 2 dp. And what should be the border shape? That is circle shape. And we can give color. Let us say color dot light gray. Yeah, it looks good. Now right to the image, to the right side of the image, we need a column of 2 text. The first text, it is for author, and the second text, that is for the message body. So after the image, create a column of 2 text equal to, so I'm going to use now this message input, message dot author. Here you can see everything is loaded: author 1, author 2, author 3, author 4. And the second text, message dot body. And in between the author and body, let us give some spacing. We can create spacer, modifier dot height. We have to use it because it is for the column. If it is for the row, we have to use width. Let us say 4 dp. And we can see now there is some space between author and body. And for the expected one, you can see message, it is very lengthy message. But in our code, our messages are very simple, body one. So I'm going to paste some lengthy content. Only the modification is I have now lengthy statement for the body. The same thing I am going to put it for the preview also. So we can see it instantly. Yes, good. You can see other one, a lengthy statement, other two, a lengthy statement, other three, a lengthy statement. But we need only one statement by default. So how it can be done? And when you click it, it should be expanded. For that purpose, I'm going to use one variable. Let me name it as is expanded. Is expanded. Then I'm going to use by. The purpose of using by is to create delegated properties. Followed by that, I'm going to use a function called remember. You can see remember is a composable function. The purpose of using the remember function is to maintain the state in recomposition and create a mutable state object. For that, I'm going to call this mutable state of, and this function creates and returns an object of type mutable state. Once again, mutable state of, you can see in the documentation, it returns an object mutable state of passing false. Its meaning is very simple. Let me write the documentation here. We are creating a mutable state variable, and this mutable state variable can trigger the UI updates when its value changes. That's very important. So we created a mutable state variable. Its purpose is to trigger the UI update whenever there is a change in value, and this is the value false. So if there is a modification in the false, that the false is a boolean value, if it changes to true, it triggers some UI update. And there is a compile time error. We have to import the operator state.getValue. That's all. Perfect. Now we are going to focus the second text in the column. Let me split into separate lines. If you look at the text composable function, there is a parameter called maximum lines, that is max lines. I'm going to write max lines equal to 1. Now you can look at the preview. It is reduced to 1 line, but we need a dynamic value, because if it is clicked, it should be expanded. Once again, if it is clicked or tapped, it should be minimized to 1. So we need some coding here. For that, we will say that if it is expanded, it means if it is true, but right now it is false, we have to click it. So let us write this logic first, then we'll continue. If it is expanded, then we are going to say that okay, int dot maximum value, or you can put 5, 6, but let it be more generic, whatever may be the number of lines. Int dot max value else 1. Its meaning is very simple. If it is expanded, that is if it contains a boolean value true, then maximum value, else 1, only one line will be there. Column is a composable function, and the column composable function contains a parameter called modifier. So that parameter we are going to use it now, modifier equal to, because it should be clickable, modifier dot you can see there is a function called clickable, and here we are going to say that is expanded equal to not is expanded. The workflow is like this. Initially its value is false. The moment you click it for the first time, that column is expanded equal to not false, that is true. Is expanded becomes true. Then you can see the all lines of that particular message. And once again, if you click the same column, then is expanded becomes it is equal to not true. Then is expanded becomes false. If it is false, it shows that okay, maximum lines is equal to 1. And let us give some space in between the image and the column. You can see between the image and the column of two tests there is no space. Spacer, modifier dot width, let us say 4 dp. You can see now there is some space between the image and the column. If you keep the cursor here, you can see start interactive mode. Now it shows that stop interactive mode. It means the interactive mode is running. Let us click it. You can see now it is expanded. Click once again. It is minimized to 1. That's all. So let me click stop interactive mode because I found that it consumes a lot of memory. And now we are going to give some color change for the author and some stylish we are going to apply. Take the first text, that is the author. I'm keeping the codes in separate lines. It gives better clarity. So for the author, I'm going to apply some color. Text is a composable function which contains a parameter called color equal to. I'm going to take the material theme dot color scheme dot secondary. You can see that the color of author is changed now. We can give some style to style equal to material theme dot typography dot, let us say it is title smart. You can see its size is reduced. Now take the next text, that is the message body. We can apply some style equal to material theme dot typography dot, let us say body medium. You can see that there is some change for the body. And let us now run the app. So let us click one message. Yes, it is expanded and now it is minimized to 1. Now I'm going to add more messages so you can see a scrolling effect. I'm just going to copy paste few more, let us say author 5, author 6, author 7, author 8. So this time I have more, author 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I didn't modify the body. You can give some different content. Now you can see the scrolling. See that author 8. It is not fully loaded. You can see here out of date. Just refresh the app. Now it is loaded fully. Yes. And now we can check again. Everything is working fine. That's all. Thank you for watching it.